There's three ways to buy in Dubai Hills, and it just depends on who you are. There's off-plan resale, or buy ready, and then you could renovate it. Pick the wrong one and it can cost you millions. After 11 projects, 37 kitchens, 109 bathrooms, and over 35 new build properties, I'm going to tell you my honest answer, which I feel will be right for your budget, which most buyers would get wrong, and most agents can't even explain properly. Let me start by getting the language right, because the three phrases get used a lot and they're not the same thing. You've got route one, where you buy from a developer, so you can buy through myself or another agent. You buy direct, you're on a payment plan. This is before the villa's actually built. You probably wait about 2 to 4 years. You'll take the construction risks, the handover risks, and in exchange, you get the developer's pricing, offered staggered payment packaging, and you get first picks of the plot. So let's start about getting the language right, because these three phases get used a lot and they're not the same thing. You got route one, you buy an off plan. You normally buy through an agent like myself or an agent you're working with, directly to the developer, normally on a payment plan, before the villa's actually built. You probably wait about 2 to 4 years while the construction takes place. There's a slight risk in the construction and a risk in handover, but in exchange of that, you're getting a property at the developer's price. You also get first pick of the plot and location. Route two is off-plan resale. Someone who's already bought from the developer on a payment plan. They have not taken the handover yet, and they sell the contract onto you, usually for a premium that undercuts the developer's current launch price. You inherit their position, you inherit their plot, and usually you take over the rest of the payment plan. Route three is buying the ready villa. The house is already built and handed over. You see exactly what you're buying. You pay upfront or you mortgage it. And the smart thing to do is renovate it before you move in, before you list it, to create value that the previous owner has left on the table. 3 different products, 3 completely different buyers. Let me take you through them one at a time. Off plan, the route most people think they understand, but they actually get it wrong. What you're actually buying here is a promise. You're buying a brochure, a floor plan, a master plan render, and the developer's reputation that they will deliver close to what they showed you in a well-run master plan with a well-run developer. That promise genuinely holds. In Dubai Hills, it's largely held. The upside is real. You lock in today's price for a villa that's handed over in 2, 3, 4 years. You typically pay in installments rather than upfront. And if you bought early into the master plan cycle, the value moves significantly between your contract date and the handover date. So here's what the brochure doesn't tell you. Like, the villa is sold and the villa that gets handed over can be slightly different. Sometimes the values get manipulated and the materials as the project goes on. The kitchen renders rarely look like the kitchens that actually come out, or the bathrooms. And sometimes like the distance to the park or maybe the communal pool might alter slightly. And this isn't fraud, it's just how development works. The specs change and also the delivery times can change. And I know this because I've been in the position of a developer and I know things work. Sometimes the products aren't available and materials might run up, so you have to alter things. It's sometimes for the better, sometimes not. But things do actually just change. So if you're buying off plan in Dubai Hills today, there's only really apartments you can buy in this sector. But what matters most is the developer and what they've actually delivered before. What's written into the contract, and this is beyond the marketing material. The brochure is a sales tool, the contract is the product. Just make sure you do read both. Off-plan suits the buyer who has time, who's happy to wait 2 to 3 years, who wants the lowest and best entry point for the new product, who is comfortable with the payment plan rather than paying in a lump sum or through a mortgage. This does not suit someone who needs a home this year, or someone who can't stomach the delivery slipping by 6 months. Off-plan resale is the most misunderstood out of the 3. People assume it's just a cheaper version of off-plan, and they buy it on that basis. So here's how it works. Someone bought a villa from the developer at, let's say, 1,100 dirhams per square foot. The developer is now launching the next phase at 1,600 dirhams. So the original buyer can list their unit at 1,400 dirhams. And the new buyer still feels like they're getting a good deal below current market price. The seller takes a nice healthy profit and everybody wins on paper. And this is where you need to think as a developer and not a buyer. Ask yourself one question: why is this person selling? There are two answers. Either they are flipping the best unit because they bought several at the launch and they want their cash back, or they are quietly offloading their weakest units and the ones in the awkward plots. They are the wrong orientation, the road backing, while keeping their best ones for themselves. If you cannot tell the difference between those two sellers, you're going to pay a premium for the villa the original buyer did not want to keep. So when you look at off-plan resale, the price is not variable. The plot is variable. The position within the master plan is variable. The layout is variable. The number on the contract is the easy part to compare. Everything that actually determines whether you're going to make money or lose it is in the plan and the location. Off-plan resale suits a buyer who has done their homework, who can actually read a master plan properly, and who's buying the plots for the plots and not the price. It doesn't suit someone who's just trying to get a cheaper deal than the developer's launch. Cheap is not always the same as good. This is the route most agents cannot talk properly about. And it is the one where, honestly, my background actually changes the answer. When you buy a ready villa in Dubai Hills today, you're buying into a mature, complete community. The infrastructure is in, the trees are full, the schools and malls and golf is operating. You can stand on the plot, you can walk the layout, you can see exactly what you're getting. The risks are far lower than off-plan, and the timeline is days, not years. But here is the trade-off nobody explains. In a mature community, the villas aren't going to make money like they used to on their own. The community is not going up at the same rate it used to, and the wave its road is done. So the upside has to come from somewhere else. The upside is inside the villas, where most villas in Dubai Hills were finished to developer's spec around the same sort of time, in roughly the same sort of era, with the same sort of kitchens, the same sort of bathrooms and flooring, which means all the comparable prices are largely settled. Most villas of the same type will sort of sell in the same sort of price bracket. Now, when one villa in that cluster has been done and renovated properly, it does not sell in the same price bands. It pulls well above it. Done properly on the right plot with the right finishes for the right buyer, a serious renovation can add 10 to 20% onto the price of Dubai Hills Villa. But this is where it can get slightly dangerous. Most renovations can destroy value and not create it, because most people renovate themselves, not for the next buyer, and more for a personal renovation. And this can really reduce the pool of buyers that will actually buy it before you renovate a Dubai Hills villa to sell or to live in and then resell. This is what a developer actually checks. The first thing is the plot worth investing in? Throwing 2 million dirhams on a renovation on a weak plot can just be throwing your money away. No renovation can fix that. You can always uplift and renovate it properly. You can always reduce the price, but the plot is something you can never change. And this can cost you millions. So secondly, you have to actually think of what the next buyer might actually want. And what's on your Pinterest mood board or what your taste is might not be the same for everybody. So what I normally do and what I've done on personal projects back in the UK is always kept to quite a neutral palette, taking inspiration from hotels or areas where a lot of communities like and appreciate the design of. And this really does help the resale value, and just to keep everything kind of neutral and natural vibes with no wacky colours or no extravagant marbles. Like, just keep it very simple, smooth, and very easy on the eye. The third way is actually where you can unlock quite a lot of value. It's the layout. It's not all about the fixtures and fittings. If the flow and the usage of space doesn't work, and there's a lot of dead space, it just doesn't work. So print out a plan and go over and over again just to get the ideal floor plan for you. Because extending a property might be one thing, but then you might be left with a massive, just a huge bedroom, let's say, where you might be able to reduce the bedroom size slightly and get an extra room in there as a walk-in wardrobe. Like, this is similar to a property I've recently gone into in Sidra, where they've done a similar thing, and the usage of space, it just works so much better than just having one massive room. In Dubai Hills, we don't really have this problem, but I prefer more of a social living and working space. So like an open plan kitchen is more for me. A lot of the bigger properties in Dubai Hills have 2 kitchens, so that's absolutely great. But let's say Maple or Sidra, they're quite open plan anyway. Going into Parkgate, which is recently getting handed over next year, they've got closed kitchens, which is nice for certain people, and people do like that. But having an open plan kitchen just gives a lot more usable and entertaining space, and in my preference, it's a lot more modern and current. So the property you purchase may have a pool already built in there, and it might be fully landscaped, but it might not be in the best location, and you might think it would be able to move to better. It's always good to do these alterations now rather than later down the line, because they can really add value. Like, say it was in the shade and you wanted it in the sun, now's the time to do any changes, and it can be done rather cheap, especially at this stage when there's a lot going on and you're not having to get a third party in there to re-dig up the pool and stuff. So it's definitely worth giving it a go and moving things just to make it right. Fourth, what to actually avoid. Avoid any over-personalized finishes or like really dark and dramatic colours. Keep everything kind of neutral. In the UK, I used to stick with a palette. Whatever's in the colour chart, I used to just go down one line and sort of stick to that colour theme. Maybe 4 or 5 colours maximum. Never used to be too offensive, always quite a neutral palette, a nice blend, and use textures instead of colours. Have like fabrics around and keep the similar fabrics going and similar colours in the same ranges in there, and I just feel like it works. If you just have a look online and go to hotels and do some research of what you think will like goes well and look what sells, and you can't beat like interior designers and inspiration of what they actually do. Like, you have to think of what most people want and try not to narrow your pool of people just because you'll really close down your market and you won't achieve the best value for your property. After 37 kitchens and over 100 bathrooms, those are the calls I've made dozens of times. I know they're very important for the resale value. The renovation route suits the buyer who actually has the cash or the financing to buy the property, plus the renovation route suits the buyer who actually has the cash or the financing to buy the property plus the renovation, who is patient enough to live through the process of 3 to 6 months of work, and who is buying with a resale in mind, even if they're planning to live in it for years. It does not suit someone that wants to move in it tomorrow with everything already done. They're the sort of people who should buy an already renovated villa and pay the premium that someone else has created. Another good thing about buying a renovated villa is all the costs can be mortgaged and can be added onto the total cost on the new value. So it might suit, and you might be able to get a better product for you for a smaller deposit price on a mortgage. So which route is actually the right one for you? Let's be honest about it. If you have a long time scale, like 3 to 4 years, and you want the lowest possible entry price into a brand new product in Dubai Hills, off-plan is the one for you. But unfortunately at the moment, all the villa communities have now been launched and are handing over, well, the final one's handing over next year, so it's not really an option now. But there are other villa communities that are getting launched in different areas, so it might be worth looking into those. There are a few apartment blocks that are still to be launched in Dubai Hills, but if you are looking into an off-plan launch in a villa community, just be careful and make sure you read the contract and not just the brochure. Not every off-plan development in Dubai Hills has been a smart buy. You need to look and weigh up the handovers and the amount of product that's come into the area in that time at the price brackets. So just be wary of every factor. And if you want help, I'll be more than happy to help. If you've done your homework and you can read the master plan properly, off-plan resale may be the one for you. Just remember the positions and really look into why the previous owner's actually selling before the handover. And if you want the lowest risk and the clearest information, and if you have the appetite and the budget to add value yourself, buying a ready villa and renovating it is honestly the best view and the strongest route in Dubai Hills today. It is also the route where you can actually add the most value, and this is also the route where I can actually add the most value to a client. Because after building 37 kitchens and over 100 bathrooms, over 11 different projects, before you commit a single dirham, please get in touch and we can go through a full plan just to make sure this is the right property for you and will have the best uplift in value. And that is the difference between an agent who lists villas and an advisor who's actually built them. So these are the 3 ways that you can actually buy in Dubai Hills. Off-plan if you've got the time, off-plan resale if you've done your homework and know what you're buying, and then buy and renovate if you want the strongest uplift in your money within Dubai Hills. The wrong route can cost you a lot, but the right one with the right timescale and the right guidance can make you a lot and actually build a property that you really want to live in. If you're already working with an agent that you trust, stay with them. If you're not, or just want a second view from somebody who's actually built stuff and done a lot of renovations themselves, things that most other agents haven't done, and just sell. All my details are below. If you found this useful, save it, send it to anyone who's possibly thinking of buying within Dubai Hills or doing a renovation all over Dubai, and tell me in the comments which route fits you, because I read them all. Thank you.